Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ray and we are about to start episode 3 of season 2 of The Wheel of Time. So we've gotten a bit into these, well, we've got 2 out of 3 episodes down of the initial release for The Wheel of Time. Of course, after this, each episode will be once a week. So we'll be prepared for that experience. But we have kind of gotten a taste of where our characters are now after the events of Faldara, which happened 5 months prior, because they did actually mention it. I've been looking through my reaction. They did mention how long it's been. So it's been 5 months since Faldara, but it's been a year since Beltane by the time we get into the second episode. So, presuming that the months are the same as our months and the year are the same as our year, and it's not like a, different span of time situation, different way to count time situation. Either there was actually a gap between episode 1 and episode 2, like maybe another month or so, or the time during season 1 is actually, I'm a little bit off by that. Like maybe it's been actually closer to 4 or 5 months that took place over the course of season 1. So, which is interesting. I think that's interesting. But either way, it's been a year. It's Beltane again. We've kind of gotten to see all of our principal characters, where they are, what they're doing, what their motivations are for this season, where their goals are. Honestly, a lot of really interesting threads. I'm loving where all the characters are and what they're doing and how they're feeling. I mean, obviously not everybody's feeling great. Actually, most of them are feeling pretty miserable for a variety of reasons. But I mean, it's good entertainment for us though, right? So I think where we left off, we have Nynaeve about to take her accepted tests, and then presumably after that she's going to train in earnest with Liandrin. But now, of course, she knows Liandrin's secret, which is that she has a son in North Harbor, mentioned last season by Moiraine to threaten her. But that's her son. I think everybody kind of assumed that it was like a lover, but no, it's her son. So, it'll be very interesting to see how that relationship will be going forward between Liandrin and Nynaeve, now that Nynaeve knows her secret. And I'm pretty sure she's going to have to teach her, because she said that she would, and she kind of basically forced everyone in the tower to accept her as Nynaeve's teacher. And then now that she regrets it, it's too late. So that's not gonna go well. We also caught up a little bit with Rand. He is making his way up in Caerhine, in a mental hospital in Caerhine, so that he can get to Logain, our last false dragon. And he's been doing this thing that he started in the last episode with Ishamael, which they finally said his name, so I can actually say his name now. He started in the last episode with Ishamael, where he kind of uses anyone and anything he can to learn. And so he used Ishamael to understand how to grasp his power and to get a little taste of understanding about it. And then in this season, we see that he is using his time in the mental hospital to learn from Errol, Blade Master. Of course, it's a little different from the books, obviously, because at this time he was with the crew, right? And he was learning from Lan, another Blade Master. Yeah, he was learning from Lan. It was like a whole training arc. And like the people and like the men of the Shinar, because he was on the hunt for the horn, right? It was him, Matt, and Perrin, I think. They were all together. So, but in this turning of the wheel, shall we say, they're all split apart. So he has to learn how to do what he needs to do in a different way. So he's learning the blade from the sword master, Errol. And he's finally gotten access to Logain after he beat the holy hell out of this douchebag attendant in a back alley. He didn't kill him. They were very careful to show us that the guy was still breathing. But, I mean, I guess he could die from his injuries later on. But we presume that he's still alive. But it actually makes me think that guy is going to come back and cause some serious trouble for Rand. So, there's that. Rand also has gotten ensnared by this mysterious innkeeper, Celine, who's they're in some kind of a little bit messed up romance, where it's not really a romance. They're just using each other for sex and emotional, I don't know, whatever. I understand the deal there. Obviously, I know who Celine is and what her deal is, and she is from the books and everything like that. But I think it's interesting that they've put them in this position where they both kind of know that the other is not really what they need, what they want, but it's they're kind of what they need for right now, or at least they think that, but they're both kind of messed up people. Just gonna say that. And they're both in a messed up emotional state. Let's say that. They're not yes. I will leave it there because I don't want to get into spoilers for anybody who's watching my reactions who has not read the books. Okay. So that's an interesting setup. We'll see where that goes. But I imagine that a lot of this episode is going to be taken up by Nynaeve's accepted test. Yeah, because that was such a moment in the books. We gotta go into it, right? So, let's not talk anymore. I've talked enough. It's been a while. Let's just jump in and watch the episode. Let's go.
And have entered and never come out. This is your last chance, child.
Well, at least they warned her.
You may turn back now, right now.
Oh, she's got to go in naked. I do not remember the details of this, but I do remember what happens in them. Her accepted test was real nice. Leanne, Leandrin, and Sheriam, right? Had to rewatch the last episode to catch her name, the Mistress of Novices. Oh, her hair's out? Okay. It's like an adult form of her little girl dress. It's cute. Oh no! This is when it happens. Her memory, because he literally just said that. Oh God, that is so horrible. You're literally listening to your parents be sliced up by some fucking brigands. Oh God. And she got stabbed in the chest. Yeah, could have been she was actually in the past.
Taken inside.
Like that.
Others are cut to the bone inside and come back without a mark.
Yeah. Cause is it psychosomatic or?
Change things. Once you begin, you must continue.
You can do it, baby. You can do it! So I think we're gonna actually get through this in the first 20 minutes. I thought it might be spread out throughout the episode as we go back and forth between other people, but no. I think they're going to give us the whole shebang right now.
I knew.
This isn't your home anymore.
Oof. So, in her vision, Matt's mom is the new wisdom. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting how that root is like such a central part of her story throughout, both in the previous episode and here in her previous test and here. So I assume it's going to show up in the third test as well. I like it. I don't remember that if that happens in the books because, like I said, it's been 10 years since I read the books. But, so the details I absolutely do not remember. But this is very interesting. Yeah, honey.
It's all right. It's good to see your face.
It's, oof. The amount of guilt she's got to feel. Oh, no. Oh.
Tell you what a comfort it is to see.
The gate's going to appear and she'll have to abandon him. Yeah. So she has to choose to stay with him.
Please don't go.
I promise you, I'm coming back.
Nynaeve! Nynaeve!
You are washed clean of your sins.
Whew, these tests, girl. I think it's very fascinating that you have these 3 arches. 2 of them are design broken, but they still work as expected, you know, or seemingly still work as expected. All right, time for the feature. That was the past, the present, now the future. Ooh, interesting. Is she seeing what it's like to go through?
A remarkable woman, Wisdom. As beautiful as the sun.
This is an interesting way to show. Ooh, interesting. Are we not going to see it yet until later?
What happened? I don't remember what I did. If you
She
leave
said.
this room, you will never be allowed to return.
She said, fuck him. She said, fuck him.
You can't leave.
All right, now what, Nynaeve? Oh. Guess we know. And they're both feeling super alone and...
What are you doing here?
Lana told me you're going through the arches. Are you alright?
I completely forgot about this.
I heard something.
Nynaeve.
This was all a dream.
Very nice. I don't know why I didn't suspect this. But of course. Why I remember it goes through the past, the present, and the future. It's like, you ain't ready for that. You ain't ready for that.
Pledging fealty to the throne.
Yeah, she is of the blood, because she wouldn't be High Lady otherwise, right? Oh, no. Shan or something else, y'all. That was a bad death, too. And you still have to bow, but in death.
How to control it? What's so funny?
A girl turning red. Then I'll show you what you want to know.
Give me some
I'm
wine.
serious.
He's 100%.
We're thousands of miles away from Geldon. Where am I supposed to find a bottle of wine like that?
You worked out how to get yourself here. I'm sure you can work this out too.
Horn, right? Right! To seek the horn of Berlin that will summon the heroes of the ages back from the grave.
They've done a good job of making her stand out. Look at her and look at what she's surrounded by. It's like all gray and dark and green and nasty. And she's like super clean and bright and I don't know.
You really were a shepherd, weren't you? Every few hundred years they call the hunt for the horn in Ilion.
But out of respect for you, Nynaeve is dead. She's not coming back. The loss is going to shake you perhaps most of all, but your grief is your own. Face it, and in time, you will grow stronger.
Fair. It's fair. But I mean, if y'all like gave a shit about mental health, maybe all these women wouldn't be washing out all the time and you'd have more Aes Sedai. Maybe some of these warders wouldn't be dead now. Like, listen, whatever. Anyway, The Wheel of Time is actually a treatise on the need for mental health.
Egwene, please.
It's not the right time, Elaine.
I don't even know you. I don't want you here. Just get out.
It's not the right time. Yeah, I was like, girl, you needed to leave immediately. She feels like she lost Rand. Now she lost Nynaeve. And none of the others are there to know. Like, oof, messy.
We'll run home. We'll starve in the blight. It doesn't matter to me. Because you don't matter.
Oh, Leandrin.
Just spare me the misery of your company.
Like she...
Too many people their lives.
It was exactly the right thing to say to him to destroy his spirit, so... Mission accomplished. But she also, like, really, really wanted Nynaeve, you know?
You wanted her dead.
No, she really didn't, actually.
I leave you to your grief.
Don't walk away from me. I'm not done with you.
She's like, all right, all right.
Your friend had a gift. Raw power. But you were supposed to be the smart one.
It's not always the most powerful women who write history. It's the ones who survive.
All right, are we looking for the wine? Yeah, this is Carhine, whatever.
You looking like this.
People are staring.
Kieran.
They know we weren't there.
Yeah, the game of houses, right?
After the Aiur War, the farmers and peasants who survived in the countryside came to the city for safety.
And they stayed.
The four gates overrun.
The Aiur War was 20 years ago, right?
Just kick people out of their homes. They'd revolt.
Don't ask questions you know the answer to.
I'm sorry I should have asked for your help. I have to go.
Yeah, played your hand. It was too much. It was too much, Celine.
You're going to miss the fireworks.
You messed up. It was a little bit too much. No, see, he doesn't give a shit about these people. He cares about Logain, and that's it.
Luck so soon. Get out of you.
Not you spilling the wine I did all that to get.
There's no madness, boy. The Aes Sedai use that light to justify their cruelty. They poison the world against men so they can castrate us. But they know that only the dragon can defeat the Dark Ones.
I mean, sure. But that was some incel talk, yo. No, I'm kidding. I know in this world it's a little different, but that's what incels think women do in real life. Is he gonna say something? Oh, she's gonna speak and he'll overhear it or something? One of those? Oh no, is he gonna run away? Ah, Maddie! Come on!
I can leave, and yeah, I don't know where to go.
All that matters right now is that that door's open, and it's time to walk through it. Because I'm definitely not waiting for you.
Fair. Like, right? Like, you can figure that shit out on your own, bruh. Like, at least go with her, because at least men know where she going. So even if you don't, you know, you can follow her and figure it out on the road. Oh yeah, they're enslaved. Oh yeah.
I was starting to worry you might never wake up.
Who are you?
The way is she like low-key always be having like homoerotic vibes. He nailed it.
I should have expected it when I saw those eyes.
What are you talking about?
Here we go. Fuck these Shan-Chan up. Oh no, the Ice Knight, or not Ice Knight, but the Channeler's gonna kill him. I can't remember her name. Domain, right? Don't kill the puppies.
The more wolf you are, the more you're mine. I'll be watching your progress with great interest.
So what, you're reverse psychology? You're trying to make him not go wolf so he doesn't advance in his powers? All right.
Me like that again and I will kill you.
Up. They like love this like aggression as foreplay. Sure. He said dirty nasty sex in season 2. This is so bad. Is he going to fuck her with the power? Dude. I hope they got insurance. I don't think they do, though. Did they even have insurance? I don't know if they did. So what are we doing here? You gonna activate the arches and try to go through, or?
Maybe what she faced offered her a better turn of the wheel.
Are we finally gonna see it? Yes! Finally. Or are we going to just get a cliffhanger and then it's gonna end the episode? This is real cute.
So grown up.
Girl, she is living a life, y'all. Not his hair down. I was just talking about that. So they found a way to do his hair down now, thankfully.
I got a letter from Egwene today. She and the other Greens are headed north.
Stella. Now.
Yeah.
Go.
The same thing that happened to her. Here we go. Is it actually the exact same cellar?
I need you to be a brave girl. To stay here and wait for me to come back. Can you do that for us?
I'm pretty sure this is the exact same cellar. Oh. Oh, there's Matt. And there's Perrin about to die. Rough. She didn't have power to protect her family. Also, it's what would happen if she just left the fight? You're needed, baby. She lived a whole motherfucking life in there, y'all. A whole motherfucking life. She got married, had a kid, everything. That kid was like, what? How old was that girl? She was like, that girl was like, I don't know, like 7? Something like that? I'm very bad with telling children's ages. I'm sorry. I do not like spend time around children often. But I think I would guess like something like 7. Like she's not, maybe 5 to 7. Let's say that. But it's years. Old enough for that little girl to talk and be able to be playing around with a sword and fighting. Stuff like that. Yo, she had a whole life in the Arches. Oh my god. Oof. Oof. So we're gonna see the consequences of that. I remember in the books it was very similar. She like went through the Arches. She saw her past, present in Two Rivers, Emmonsfield. I was mixing Two Rivers and Emmonsfield. Her present in the Two Rivers. A little bit different there. Interesting that they had her imagine, or I guess an alternate universe or whatever, or maybe the current present that she's seeing, whatever. They had Natty Cauthon become the wisdom who was killing people. Interesting. It was a different person in the book, so it's an interesting choice here, but it makes sense. Why introduce some random character we don't care about? We know Natty Cauthon, and we have a history with her, and we have a impression of her. That's what I'm thinking of. We have an impression of her already, so it makes sense to use her in that role. Anyway, yeah. So the Arches, yeah, and then the last one is the one in the future where it's her married to Lan and I think in the books, didn't they actually show her being like a queen of Maquier? I don't remember the details of all of her Arches. I just remember it was the past, present, and future. And then she has to and then she missed the last one. She missed the Arch in the last one. And she stayed there way longer, and she used the power while in the Arches to call the Arches back. Or to call the Arch back, at the doorway back. So they kept all of that the same. And of course, they kept all of the trauma that she's probably going to have from this. Like I said, The Wheel of Time is basically a commentary on why you need mental health services. Like, everybody needs this. Like, every character needs it. Yeah, so great episode, by the way. Fantastic 3-episode run, actually. First episode, second episode, and this third one. I think this third one is the one that really, like the first one was just setting the setting the table on the new season, and then the second one was all right, what are the trajectories all of these characters are going to go on, basically. And then this third one is like finally the meat of the season. We're getting into the action. We had Nynaeve's accepted test, in which she's finally kind of being forced to recognize that the one power is part of her. It's something that not only does she need, but that if she had accepted and learned how to wield it, how much of these events could she have changed? You know, like, I feel like that's part of what she's kind of coming to realize, is that denying a part of herself is not just holding her back, it's putting everything that she loves in danger, because she is the one with the power to save people, to help herself. And denying that part of her, I think, is denying her nature. Her nature is to help others. She's a healer. Yeah, she's a badass and she's super powerful and she can fuck you up and she'll knife you and she'll, slice your head off and everything like that. She'll do all of that stuff. But at her core, she's a healer. And I think it's like this episode was trying to teach her that denying a part of herself, denying the part of herself that could learn from the Aes Sedai, being stubborn about that because of her pride, because of her fear, all of these things are actually preventing her from doing the thing that she wants to do the most, which is to help people. It's an interesting lesson to learn, and they did it in the most traumatic way possible. But that's what we get when we read The Wheel of Time. Trauma. Speaking of trauma, let's talk about Perrin and the Shan and Uno. Oh man, what a scene. So it was a perfect introduction to the Shan, like real introduction, not like the little glimpse of the last season. But this one, we really got to like see how brutal they are, how like unrelenting they are in their ideology, in their brainwashing. I mean, they're an imperialist nation, so that's what we're getting. That whole like scene with Uno was so brutal and violent. Oh my god. And then he kneels and then they push him into it. Bro. Dark. We also get Ishamael. Ishamael. I love the way Dana says that. Love it. We get Ishamael, obviously, like, influencing Lady Sarath. Yeah, Lady Sarath is of the blood. Listen, I cannot remember everything from these books, but I remember there was somebody who, yeah, because she has the nails. She wouldn't be like all of, oh, no, I can't remember. Weren't there some people who could like be raised to a certain level and could do all of that, and then you meet somebody who really is of the blood and they're different? Or isn't it with the, it's been so long. If you have the nails, then you are of the blood, because the whole idea is that you're not supposed to like lift your fingers to do anything. So the nails are indicative of the fact that you don't use your hands for anything, that you have other people doing things for you, feeding you and changing you and pampering you and all that. Yeah, I'll have to brush up a little bit on that, because I can't remember if Lady Sarath, I think she is. but she's like from a lower. Yeah, I think she is. Anyway, enough slight book talk. Sorry about that. I did not warn you guys. Yeah, so we get to see the brutality of the Shan-Shan, the unrelenting. We get to see the unrelenting control they have over their people. We got to see the domain, and we got to see basically how they're women channelers, and how they're basically enslaved. And we saw them go through and pick women who could channel to be, taken and broken, and turned. Yeah, so it's just like a really messy society. It's real hard to sympathize with Shan-Shan, and I don't think you're necessarily supposed to. But they are fascinating in a, fucked up way, so they're entertaining. I'll say that. They're good for a TV show. They're good conflict for a television show. Let's say that. But we do get more of Perrin, and Perrin being forced to kind of face helplessness, and then having the choice again of, embracing and letting go of violence and things like that. And of course, Ishamael has his eye on Perrin because he sees him and he knows exactly who this kid is. He probably can see his Tavernness and everything. Like he knows exactly who this kid is. And of course he knows Padan Fain. So because he knows Padan Fain, he knows who this is. So he immediately locks eyes with him, on top of the throne. And then of course he picks him up into the carriage later and is like subtly implying that Perrin's wolf powers are somehow, because of the dark, or will bring him closer to the dark, which of course would ensure that Perrin rejects his wolf powers even more. So, because Perrin has been struggling with that. And so I think he's going to feel like if he learns more about them, if he embraces the wolf, he's going to become a dark friend, basically. So, involuntarily. Yeah, so we're going to get quite an arc there. He did meet up with Elias again, and Elias rescued him. So at least Perrin is not going to see the, have to experience being enslaved by the Shan-Shan. Or no more than he was there. But yeah, so I'm quite excited to see where Perrin goes and his journey with Elias, because Elias is going to circle back around to him, obviously, and he's going to actually learn how to control his abilities, and how to tap into his abilities, really. Speaking of, we had more of Rand this episode, and we got to see Rand in I keep wanting to say Kerheim, but it's Kirin, in a Kirin party. Logain said he wanted some wine, some really expensive bougie wine, so he went to this bougie ass party, where all the people are obviously pieces of shit aristocracy, very French Revolution style, and these of course are the houses of Kirin. And he got to experience a little taste of the game of houses. So it'll be interesting to see, if he ends up back there now that the inn that he and Celine owned and he's staying at burned down. Hard to say what happened there. Did they actually have one power sex or what? And then he woke up the next day or later that night and then accidentally burned down the cabin? Did she somehow influence his power to burn down the cabin? What happened there? Yeah, they're so fucked up and twisted. Like, it's like I said, it's good entertainment for a television show, but they haven't, like, they always choke slamming each other against the wall and having weird, angry. It's not. I don't even want to call it hate sex because they don't hate each other. Well, she might hate him a little bit, but like, he doesn't hate her. He just is like, I don't know, angry at the world, at his situation, sad because he's not with Egwene. There's like a whole thing that's happening with Rand, right? But so it's kind of, it gives the vibe of hate sex, but it's not like he openly hates this woman. He's just like a little untrustworthy of her. Like she's not trustworthy at all. And he cottoned onto it a little bit. She played her hand a little bit too much there at the party. I think she thinks that he's completely 100% in her thrall. And I think she's going to find out that he is very much not. I mean, he's a little bit into her, very obviously. She's a beautiful woman and all that. But, like, he's not so into her that he's lost complete control of his senses and completely is going to trust her in every way. Like, I think she's overestimating her power over him very much. So we'll see. I don't want to dig too much into that because, again, I don't really want these reactions to be difficult for people who have not read the books. And also, frankly, I don't remember a lot of the books. So, because it's been so long since I read them. And The Great Hunt is not one that I read a lot. It's not like it's one that I went back to a lot. So, you know, this is not a very clear book for me in my mind. Just moments that I remember. Yeah. But what else did we have in this episode? We didn't have too much of Elaine. We just mostly had Elaine comforting Egwene and, you know, them just, you know, obviously growing a little closer, and she's trying to, you know, help her and be her friend and everything like that. I mean, the centerpiece was definitely Nynaeve's accepted test. And combined, I don't know. It was that, and then that frickin' experience with the Shan was really, like, rough. So I feel like those two were kind of our big moments, you know? And everything else felt a little bit like, you know, place setting, like setting up things for later, you know? Matt and Min especially felt like we're showing you a couple scenes here, but this is going to eventually become something else later. We had Matt going to go see Egwene and then not going to see her. Come on, man. But he's so riddled with guilt and fear and shame and all of that because he left them last season. And he feels like he's not enough. He's not good enough. He feels like nothing. You know, the words that Liandrin said to him in that room, in that cell, cut him to the core. Like, she knew exactly what to say to this man, to this boy, because he really is a boy. And you have this kind of, I don't know, friendship brewing between Matt and Min. But of course, now we learn by the end of the episode that Min is actually working for Liandrin. She's been pressed into service. So we will see where that goes. I don't remember. Yeah, again, I don't remember much about that. This part of the book. So I don't remember what the outcome is going to be, and I'm okay with that. We'll see what the show decides to unfold. Let's say that. It's interesting though to have Min be paired so much with Matt. They make a good pairing, so I like it. I'm really excited to see where they're gonna go, where they're headed. Because obviously wherever they're going is some kind of plan from Liandrin. So what does she have up her sleeve? Like, what is her end goal from Matt? I don't know, and I don't understand what she wants out of him. I mean, obviously it's probably no good. Let's say that it's no good. And how long is Min going to go along with this? Is there going to be a point where she decides to tell Matt everything, or is Matt going to find out? Oof. And it's going to be real tough for him to trust her after that, because he really, really confided in her at some of his weakest moments, like in this cell, trapped and being basically mentally and emotionally tortured by the Red Sisters. Like, it's going to be tough for him, I think, it's going to be tough for her winning back his trust after this. So we'll have to see about that. I just realized that we didn't have any Moiraine in this episode. It was all... We just had a touch of Lan. Yeah, we just had a touch of Lan. Yeah, interesting. Okay. I respect it, though. I mean, there was a lot happening in this episode, so I respect us not going back to what Moiraine is doing, and Perrin and Alana, all of that. Okay. I want to circle back to Liandrin for a second, because I think it's very interesting how invested she was in Nynaeve's accepted test. Like, she obviously wants to manipulate her. She wants her to choose red, maybe. I don't know why she would think that woman would ever choose red. It just does not make any sense to me. But she at least wants to mold her into her image, what she wants for Nynaeve and for her power. She's very invested in her. And she seemed genuinely upset at the idea that Nynaeve died. And it's so hard to tell what's manipulation and what's honesty with her. Real hard to tell. It was kind of like that in the first season, that scene in the cave where it was Moiraine, Karene, and Liandrin, and they were fighting Logain, and Karene died. And Liandrin was genuinely about to burn up trying to stop Logain. And I actually felt like that was real. I feel like in Liandrin's mind, any sister is better than literally everybody else in the world. There is no one that is more important than an Aes Sedai. Even when it's an Aes Sedai she hates, that person is still more than anybody else. And the more power they have, the more she respects them. It's an interesting position to have Liandrin be in, that she's not, that she feels some kind of kindred spirit with Nynaeve. Have I been calling her Nynaeve this whole time? Hopefully not. She feels like some kind of kindred spirit with Nynaeve just because they're both Aes Sedai, and because she respects Nynaeve for how powerful she is and her potential, even if she is doing all of this just to manipulate others. So it's an interesting position to put Liandrin in. I really like what they're doing with her character. Why did I say Elaine or Alana? Eleda. That's her name. It just occurred to me because I was about to mention it again. I think that Liandrin is going to take some of the space of Eleda, or Elida, whatever. I don't know how to say her name. I mean, I have mixed feelings about that because I think that Eleda was important in the story separately from Liandrin, but we'll see what they decide. She may not be. I'm just, guessing here. I mean, the gag would be if Liandrin ended up being good. Or not good, like, morally, but like she's a snake, but she's doing all this for the actual right reasons. That would be gag. That would gag both the book. Well, I mean, some of the book readers wouldn't appreciate that. Like, cause she's, I guess slight book spoilers. She's meant to be very, not good. Let's say that. She's not a good person. Let's just keep it like that. She's not a good person. So it would be kind of a gag to make her a kind of a good person in the show. I mean, she's not though. She's not a good person. Because we know this. We know this from season 1 and season 2 that she's not actually a good person. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with Liandrin. It's interesting. Maybe she's taking on some of the aspects of Eleda, but we might still get a different version of Eleda later on. Eleda. I have no idea how to say her name. I'm sorry, y'all. That might still happen. I can see them doing that too. So we'll have to see. Anyway, I have talked enough about this episode, or these last 3 episodes. I genuinely am having a great time. Yeah, I really, really like what they've been doing. I think I've talked enough about the episode. I really like what they're doing so far. We're 3 episodes in, and I've had a blast watching all 3. So I'm excited for the final 5. It's so tough because I wish these seasons were longer. Like, I miss longer seasons. I miss 16 to 22 episode seasons. But of course, we wouldn't have even close to the budget for this show if this was stretched out over 22 episodes. So I can respect it. But like, I do wish that it was more than 10 though. Like, I wish they would let go of this 8 episode per and exactly 60 to 65 minute episodes. But, you know, it is what it is. You got the money that you got, and you can do what you can. So, fair enough. Fair enough. It's fair enough. All right. I'm excited for the next episode. It won't come out until next week, so we'll go ahead and leave it there. I don't know when this will go up on YouTube, but I'll try to edit as soon as possible. I'm going to basically edit all of the season 1 episodes. I've already started that. And then the season 2 episodes so far. And I'll probably be able to release the episode or the season 1 episodes in batches of 2 or 3 at a time, so we can catch up. And then hopefully by then I will have edited these 3 as well, and I can start releasing those. I'll probably have to release those once a week. Sorry guys. I'll probably have to release those once a week, but it's okay. You'll get them eventually. Don't worry about it. Anyway, this is YouTube. You know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell, all that stuff. Go to my Patreon if you want to see full length and stuff that I can't release on YouTube for whatever reason. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Whatever, all this ever, but you long gone, it don't matter.